Hey everybody, it's David. I'm back. Hey, I was just at a workshop in Minnesota, no, Reedsburg, Wisconsin, which is kind of close to Baraboo and the Dells in Wisconsin, and a really cool place. It was actually in an inn that has a museum of all Norman Rockwell stuff. But anyways, that was really great workshop. Just got back. I drove in about a couple minutes, not minutes ago, about half an hour ago, and I'm getting all ready and so I still want to do the paint along, and so today, and while I was there in Reedsburg, there was a liquor store right across that sold everything by the can or the bottle, beer and other things. So I got this. This is one of the things that are brewed in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and it is a kinky red cocktail strawberry watermelon flavored drink. 5% alcohol, so naughty, so good, it's naughty. So we'll see. And we're doing a beach scene. This is going to be perfect for the beach scene. And so I got a bunch of single cans. So I'm set for the next month on different kind of beers, and we got some really good beers out there. But this one was not a beer, but I figure this is good for this kind of scene that we're doing today. We're doing a beach scene, right? And so cheers, everybody. Cheers. It's in a Guinness glass, but I put ice because it is kind of a cocktail drink. So cheers, everybody. I'm sure it's going to be way too sweet. Yep. It tastes just like strawberry watermelon pop. Basically, you don't taste any alcohol in it whatsoever, which is can be kind of dangerous. Anyways, cheers, everybody. Cheers. And so next week I go up to Green Bay to do a workshop, and so but next week it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I be home again on Thursday. Anyways, let's go into our painting here, and we're gonna show my website first, of course. Anybody who's new, because I think a couple of the students may be watching tonight. From anytime I go to a workshop, I let everybody know that hey, there's free paint-alongs every single Thursday. A little bit late tonight, but it's still here happening. And here's where you get all my information. Everything you want to pull out right here is where you pick the picture. You click on that picture, you get the picture, you download it, and you just can paint along. And most, like I said to most times the people in class, you don't have to paint along. You know, it's a little bit hard, but it's always up here forever and ever. So whenever you want to get back here and go and do it, that's fine. Everything down here, if you want to get a newsletter, it's down here. So there's a newsletter. You put in your email address and your name, and you get my email every Tuesday what we're painting on Thursday. All right, and so let's go to our supplies. The supplies are always the same. I'm going to change this one of these days and kind of put the exact colors I'm using. But for right now, this is my materials. Value study. So this is what we're talking about today, and so. When I showed everybody this today in class, I said, you know, because our newsletter this week was about how to take a big complex subject matter and a lot of stuff in it and simplify it. And that's what I'm doing here. And again, ask questions if you hear me say something you want to know something about something. Just ask go in the chat and ask, and you can even say hello so that we know that you're here. You don't have to, but you can. And so if you look at this object, this is the photo, and look at all the color and all the people in here. There's so many people on the beach, so many umbrellas. So when you take it down to the no tan design, to the black and white, you notice that it's kind of like big white, big dark, lots of black and white all down here, and one big in the corner here. So I thought to myself, I took it into Photoshop and I just took my little pen tool and I kind of made this like an S. See, this is like an S. That's like the S composition, and so that'll work much better. And so I'm just going to add these shadows into the ground, and not that they're going to be this dark. Again, if you're new, I'm only doing some of these darks may be middle tone, but they have to be into the dark area. And so anything in the light has to be lighter. It has to be lighter than the dark. Lightest dark in the dark area, so they have to separate the lights and darks. And when I did the drawing, I hardly did any people, and here I just made a bunch of scribble marks because I am not going to put every one of those people in there. No way. There's no time for that anyways. So we're just gonna gesture them. Maybe this guy right here, that's the one guy I may put in there and draw him a little bit more, because this is my center of interest right here. this big umbrella, and the umbrellas, you know, if you look at the colored photo, there's a lot of different beach umbrella colors, and I can do that. But if you look at here, they're all light. They're all light and bright. So that's part of my, and the water is blue, which is also light, and the sky is blue, which is also light. So I can separate the umbrellas with color, but still keeping them light. So you get that light and dark pattern. You have to keep that. That's why you do a value study. That's why I do these. It's not so much a value study that I draw, but it explains it a little bit better to you guys so that you understand what I'm talking about, because I like to make things black and white, and not the middle tone is part of the black and part of the white, but the middle tone up here will be darker than the lightest, you know, the darkest light. So you don't let those cross. Just let them be. They can be close, but you just want to kind of keep those separate. All right. So let's go to our tabletop. And again, of course, I did not do this yet today, so you guys are guinea pigs. No class today because I was teaching a workshop instead. And so let's just go here and let's have another sip because it's very juicy. I didn't give it a rating, did I? I'm going to give it a 9 because it is really, really sweet. And you can't not drink many of those because it's so sweet. But when you're on the beach and it's all crushed ice and stuff, it's going to taste really good. So we're pretending like we're on the beach here, right? So we just go along. And let's see, there seems like it'd be a shadow on my paper here. Let me up the light a little bit. The light doesn't look bright enough. All right, I think it's a little bit lighter. Okay, so we are going to go here. Oh, shoot, that's a little bit too bright. Sorry, just got back. I didn't have time to. Okay. There we go. So we're going to do the sky first. We're going to do our lights like we always do. Step 1 is our lights. Hey, Maria, good to see you again. Hey guys, hey Carol, you coming to class on Saturday, Carol? Come on in. I will be leaving my class at 11:30, but it's not, you know, still come. You can stay later than I do because there'll be somebody there to close up. But I have to go to the IWS, Illinois Watercolor Society show, where I won an award. I won an award for one of my paintings, so I'm gonna have to go there and pick up the award at IWS this on Saturday. Lennon Delsel was the judge, and he's giving a demonstration, so I'm going to go to that. So if you come into my class on Saturday, I will be there the whole time, but I am going to leave at 11:30 sharp because I got to get up to Dixon, Illinois. Boy, this is still giving, look at these shadows you're seeing on there. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, everybody. Hey, Rebecca from Canuga. Thanks for all the nice posts on Instagram. Rebecca was one of my students at Canuga, and she did really great, and I made her not afraid of having to break rules. There are no rules, I told everybody. You have to worry about rules. Don't break them all. Break them all. Learn your fundamentals, but then don't worry. You can use white. You can scrub. You can trace. You can do everything. It's what the outcome is. Don't be so worried about breaking rules. You do need to learn fundamentals, of course. Yes, you do need to learn them, but don't make it so that you don't paint because of the rules. You're thinking that you're not going to paint because you're going to break some rules. No, just paint. Most important thing is that you paint. Just paint, paint, paint. I was telling that to the class today. And so here the sun is right in here. And so I could use an airbrush on this. And I was showing how to use an airbrush today. But I'm just going to do this wet in a wet because that softens the edge. I'm going to keep it really bright right there. And anybody new here for my class today and yesterday, you can join up on the Facebook page group, and there you can show your work when you do the work. Or if you need critiques or you need somebody to help, help you out. We will always help. I will try to get to it. Sometimes I don't get to it if I'm away, or but I will sooner or later help you, or some of the people will help you. So now remember, this is going to get 20% lighter. So I'm just going to try to make it 20% darker, making it look darker than it really should be. And let's get a little bit brighter, or a more vibrant color. And that's my horizon blue. Today, after this demonstration, I will go onto the Facebook page of Laguna Beach Plein Air Society, and I have a watercolor show there, and there's an auction going on right now where you can buy the 3 pieces they got accepted into the show, and then they're going to give out the awards. So we'll see if I get an award. That'd be kind of cool to receive 2 rewards in one day, because I just found out today that I got an award at the IWS, Illinois Watercolor Society show tomorrow. All right, so there's a pretty bright white right there, and that shows that the sun is right there. It's just kind of hazy. We want it hazy. I kind of want the haziness to it. Now these mountains back here, I'm going to make them hard edged, but I think one of them I'm going to make a little bit softer. I'll try to make it soft first. So, and that has to be dark, but not as, none of the lights are going to be as dark as that. So that'll be all fine. As long as it's wet, it will soften itself up really nicely. And I don't have it as light as the picture, you know, I don't have it as bright as the picture, but the picture to me looks almost too blue. I don't want it that blue. Greek Island blue sky. I mean, I could do that, but I'm going to keep it where I have it. I kind of like it where I have it. Need a little bit more. So I mix ultramarine blue and horizon blue to get that blue. I still have to, one of these days, get a better sky blue. I think cobalt. I think I got to get a cobalt. But I have no room in my palette, so I keep on, have to get another palette where I can put stuff around that. You know, me and my palette wishes. All right, so there's the sky. Now let's go right to the same color. I'm going to put it into the water. The mountain is still wet, but let me just leave that alone for a second. Let me just put the water in here. That's a light, right? That's the light. I'm going to go around the umbrellas because I want them to be lighter than the water, or light with the water. So they're about the same, but I want to make them some colorful. So I'm going to keep them a little bit white. And then the mountains, let's make some green. A little quinacridone gold. I hope I still haven't got an answer yet back from Holbein about the quinacridone gold. I wonder why. So let's see if we put a little bit of this green back there. That's too green. So let's put a little bit more of the purple. Put lavender. And that'll be my blue lavender. And then with a little bit of blue to like a greenish. It's a soft edge, and so it's back there. And I can go right to the edge here. And then there's going to be one in front of it that's a little bit darker, so that one I can make a little bit darker, make it a little bit darker blue. Maybe a little bit of green in there. Lots of purple, helps it dull it down. And this is wet, so I can make a nice little mountain back there. Wouldn't you like to be out here right now? Oh, man. So everywhere I've been going, it's been really nice. Like New York, when I was in New York last weekend, it was gorgeous. I mean, it was just perfect weather for walking thousands of miles that I had done. I just walked everywhere in New York. I picked up the whole town. I took at least 500 pictures, at least, of New York. And so hopefully sooner or later we'll be painting some of those here at the paint along when we get to the little bit harder stuff. Because there was a lot of neat things I had gotten. Okay, now these these palm trees back here, let me put them in right away. I'm going to put some of them in right away because, why? Because they're soft edged, and I can just go like this, and I can flick my brush to just get that look of like the palm fronds. Make them a little bit darker. If you have questions, please let me know. Yeah, the workshop this week was at a great little, like kind of like inn, like a hotel, and they had this big collection of Norman Rockwell cover prints, you know, that they had from all these covers that he had done. Just absolutely amazing. I forget how much I like Norman Rockwell and his illustrative style. I love its style. I mean, I absolutely love its style. Now this part I'm going to get a little bit darker, so I'm just going to get this in here. It's all still wet, so when I have it wet, I want to get it done. I know it's a little bit dark in my middle tones and stuff, but who cares? I'm going to get them in now. And look at that green I got in there. That's too light. So I'm just going to go in there. Still wet, but it's starting to dry a little bit. I'm losing the shininess to it. So I got to go in now and don't lose that shininess. And this is like a second step. Let me do a little bit more of a tree here, like this, that little palm tree by itself. So if you're ever in Reedsburg, the Voyager Inn, and they have really nice little inn, and we had the classes there. I stayed there. It's just really nice. Okay, so there's the whole background is almost done except for these trees. Now that I could spray it with the mister, which I don't have here right at the moment because I came back and I didn't bring anything in and I don't have an extra one. But I could have done this while it was wet, but I'm going to make it hard edged. And this tree especially can be hard edged. That's okay to be hard edged. Then I'm going to come all the way down here now. And we got to do our sand. That's still light, so let's do our sand first. I can make this a little bit darker because I have this color right here. I'll just bring this down. This is just a bunch of foliage and grasses and stuff right here. So I'll just put that in there. That little hut right up there is really dark, but I'll get to that. Yeah, I don't think there's a shortage of the Cracknum Gold yet, but and maybe they use a different, maybe it's a different Cracknum Gold from what it used to be. So I don't know that yet. So maybe there is not a shortage yet, or maybe they already took care of whatever they're going to do to make it not be a shortage. So beach color, what should we use? I like to use jaune number 2. That's jaune number 2. It's kind of like a orangey pink. And so I'm going to use that with a little bit of yellow in there maybe. And you can use a little bit of orange in that too. You know, and I'm just going to the umbrellas are going to be darker, so I can go right into the umbrellas. I don't have to worry about the umbrellas. I can go right over the people. I don't have to worry about them. I'm just going to go in here. I'm just getting my sand. I don't care about the people. The umbrellas I am kind of going to care about because I want to keep them light. But the beach is just light underneath them, and then we put shadows on them. So a little bit of pink, maybe a little bit of pink in there. Go right through the people. Don't worry about the people. They're darker. They're darker. They have to be darker. So just go through your whole area here. See, I'm making it easy on you that you go through. You don't have to worry about and if you look at my drawing, do you see, I have a couple of chairs. I make the chairs a little bit more, but the people, there's nothing that you really see except for like a head and a body, like, you know, the blobs that we do. You don't have to worry that you have to put every single thing in there. Matter of fact, you can just put little blobs of dark in there. It'll look like people. I mean, what would else be on a beach where there's umbrellas and chairs? Of course there's going to be people. So it'll just, the mind knows when it looks at a picture like this that it's going to be people. You don't have to explain everything. You can be an impressionist, and impressionism is where you can say what it is, but you don't have to show it completely. You know, it's just we know what that are going to be on their beach. You know, there's not like elephants or gorillas underneath the, you know, that's just not, that would be kind of weird, you know, but you know what's underneath there. Our minds will tell us what's underneath this without having to show everything to a T. It doesn't have to be so clear. And again, see, I put little different colors in the sand, and maybe a little bit more orangey yellow in some of the sand. It's basically taking a brown and also just making it really thin. Making it really thin. A little lavender is not bad. You know, that can be a little where it's a little bit cooler sand. And the shadowing, because this is all going to be dark down here. Because I'm going to switch it off, and I should put the value study because I'm going to do a shadow that goes all the way across here. Remember the S? I'm going to make that S curve there. And this has some greenish grass from there in it a little bit, so let's put a little bit of that in there. And this is all soft edge because I wet it all. And underneath the umbrellas, I like to put orange underneath there because it's shining the ground into the umbrellas. So like right here, I'm just going to make a nice orange in there and just put a nice orange in there. No matter what color it is, I don't care what color the umbrella actually is, because you can, and it could be striped or anything. It still can have the glow of the sand underneath it. It's something I learned from Irving Shapiro. He said always in the eaves of things, and if it's facing the ground, the ground's gonna go back up into that area, and then we can put a little bit of that color in the ground too. This is just, you know, just a lot of nice color in the sand. And I separate the sand from the beach right here, and we can just go through here. And look how the umbrellas now just stand out, you know, because they're a little bit darker, so they're standing out. So we don't want to lose that brightness, but we can put color in there too, the real bright color. I'm working on the Stonehenge Aqua 300 pound. All week I've been working on the 140, and it acts a little bit, I want to say maybe acts a little bit differently, because this absorbs a little bit more water, and so then you have a little bit more time, I think, to keep it wet, where the 140, it seems like it dries very fast because it doesn't really seep into that much. So there are my lights. My lights are done, and so cheers. Yeah, that's just by pop. That's way too sweet. It's very, very sweet. So definitely a 9. It's good for a beach, good for an ice, but oh my gosh, that's sweet. I'm sure that red dye coloring is not great for me either. Okay, let's see. Now, what do I have to do next? Because this is like my light. So now my big darks, my mediums, and I kind of already did that. So sometimes step 1 and 2 come together in the same step. So what I'm going to do now is adjust my camera so I'm not so far down. So there you go. And so what we're going to do is we are going to do maybe this part over here. Instead of getting our darks in there, our large darks. I'm just going to get our large darks in there. Again, make a nice dark green. And I surprised everybody in my workshop this week because I brought all the paint and my palettes for the students without them, because they all brought theirs, but I said just try Holbein, and I think a lot of them love it because it doesn't dry out. You know, it's kind of neat to know that it doesn't dry out and you don't waste any paint. And okay. And so that's that dark right here, and there's a tree coming out of there. And I think the sky's almost dry, so you know, and like, look how far that bled. I didn't make it really, so there's the line, but look how far it bled up. But that's okay. That's fine. Let's put, I'm just going to get that tree up there done. Because when it goes to the rest of the stuff on these big shadows, when I get my big shadows in there, I have to have this dry, and it's not dry yet, and so I'm going to let that dry a little bit. So while that's drying, I really should be putting all these darks through there. But while this is already dry, I can go into my step 3 and just get my detail done up there. You know, I'm just going to jump around a little bit. So it's not, you can do that, especially when you're demonstrating, because you have to. It's like this is all still wet. And so here I'll just go in there and watch this little dagger brush. I love dagger brushes, these dagger brushes for palm trees. It's really neat. I first have to mix. It's hard to mix with the brush, but if you mix the color, makes a nice dark green, Prussian blue, quinacridone gold, a little bit of violet to make it dark. I use violet in my green because it makes it dark. It makes it also not so vibrant a green. And then I put my dagger brush in there, and then test it out. Like if you're not quite sure how you're gonna do it, test it out with a sheet of paper and see how. I can just kind of, how did I do that last time? So, oh, there we go. So I'm just gonna go like this. Test out your brushes and feel how they work. They don't come with instructions, so you got to kind of figure it out by just playing with it and then seeing what you can do with that brush. Again, if you don't know how that brush works, you can't just all of a sudden start painting on your painting without testing it and trying it. And look at a nice palm tree that makes. It's kind of a long one. They have shorter ones. I kind of like making the back brushes, the back bristles, giving me the. It's not so precise in what you're going to be getting. You kind of can't. You kind of don't know exactly what you're going to get. But good enough. I mean, it looks like a palm tree, right? So I think that'll be fine. It's called a dagger brush. Or there's a couple other names for them, and there's even one that has a certain thing. But I'm going to try to get some of these to sell, but I haven't had a chance yet. I mean, everybody's getting ready for the PACE in North Carolina. That's at the end of the month, and so we're getting all ready for that. I have to do a bunch of paintings for that, to show on different things for Legion papers, on their aluminum panels. So we're all getting ready for it, trying to get, things ready for the show, or for the expo. That's the Plein Air Expo near North Carolina in Asheville. Near Asheville. It's not in Asheville, but it's near it. We are doing the one mansion there. We're going to be painting on the hill, what do you call it, the Biltmore Estate. We'll be painting on there. And that's I think the fourth week in May. 20th through the 25th, I think, something like that. All right, so there's your palm tree. And here I'm going to do a little bit darker here. Maybe there's some coconuts up there. All right, and so nice little hut. We're gonna make it a little nice and warm. This little hut up there, and so I'm just gonna get a little bit darks in here. Just make it a little bit different, dark, because it's still dark, and it has like a roof a little bit lighter. Because I'll put the roof to be kind of bluish, like it's reflecting the light from the above. And then I'll darken there after that. Now this shadow, let's figure out the shadow color. So what color will this shadow be? Well, it is kind of a orangey color, so it'll be a darker orange of that. You start with that. Just go anything the color is, you make it darker. And then you can add a little bit of warmth or coolness to it. If you make it just a totally different color, it will look like a black hole. Like, you don't want to just put them so dark that it looks like it's just, sticking out. It's not black. So here it could be a little bit of green because it's right by the grasses there. And you can even shoot some of the grasses up because it is a little bit green there. And then I'm just going to go down here. I guess I should be working in the back, but I just want to get this done. It's a big area. I like getting big areas done first. So I'm going to take the same color I used as the jaune number thing, but a little bit darker orange this time because the shadow should be darker than what I did first. It's the same color that you use, but it's just darker. And people always think that you got to use blue in your shadows. No, it's whatever color that you're putting it on. Yes, you can reflect some of the blue in from the sky into that. Yes, you can definitely do that. But first and foremost, it has to be the color of the sand darker. That's more important first, as you get the color of the sand. Then, of course, you can. It's a wet in the wet surface. Then you go crazy. Then you take a little bit of blue and put that in there. Of course, it's going to turn green because it's yellow, and so that's going to turn it green. So if you don't want that, then use a violet instead. Put a little violet because the violet will make it look like it's blue. It'll look a little bit more bluer than blue because it's not going to turn your yellow green. So that's what's so good about the purples and the lavenders. They really make orange look great. They really make them look nice. So they're gonna put it really dark underneath them. And I will color them too really dark, like this person right here. Let's just go right in there right now. Just take that purple. I'm just gonna make him dark, and I'm just gonna outline him a little bit. I'm not going really detailed. He's just dark. He's in the shadow. I don't need to. I can put a different color for like a shirt on him maybe. He's got red there. And he's got probably shorts and they're blue. Alright, so there we go. And again, this is a middle tone. This is not your darkest darks. These are middle tones. So you'll go back in there and make them really dark too later. Any questions? Please let me know. This chair right there, that's in the dark, right? And it looks like that chair is bright orange. So why don't I put orange there? There it is. So I'll put orange on there and go right into him. And it's got, see how it's just all together? I'm just worried about the outer edge. I just worry about the outer edge. I don't worry what's inside. That's just all, it's gonna, you know what it is. You know there's a person sitting on there. So you don't have to explain everything. Now he does need a head. He needs a head on his shoulders. And he's got a hat, he's got a white hat on. And that, I would have to use white paint now to put that on there. But let's just give him a colored hat then. Let's put a blue hat on him. Just, there we go. Let's put a little blue hat on him. I can always put white on there later. He's got a nice big brimmed beach hat. All right, and so there they are. See, he doesn't have any, they don't have shirts on. And so there's flesh tones up there, but they're really dark. Well, this is, like I said, middle tone. This is still middle tone. And I'm going to take the shadow over this way, make it a little bit darker. You know, the darker the shadow, the more vibrant it will look. I mean, on the beach, look at how dark it looks in the photo. But I can still make it look, very bright with the shadow. And again, I probably should be working up here down and make that less dark. And as it comes forward, it gets more crisp. But I'm basically putting in my middle tone values. I'm not putting in my darks yet. This is my middle tone values. The darks come when I do the details. Though there is detail in the middle tones because you have to show the objects and what they are, you know. But here I can't tell what everything is, and I'm looking up there. There's a bunch of this. Look at this. There's a bunch of this. I'm just gonna go like this, and there's a head, and there's a chair maybe. So I don't know what's in there. I'm just faking that. I can't see what's in there. I mean, I could if I wanted to. I could probably make up the picture real light. But that's not important to me, really. I don't care about that. I just want to make this a lot of darks. These are my darks. And so I'll put them colorful, and these are my middle tones and my darks. And again, there is a shadow on the ground. So we'll throw a shadow from here, from this chair. Going over to this side. And look at how I'm just not even caring about if it goes into a chair. I want them to connect with one wash. I want this to connect all together with one wash so that it looks together like this is the same area. And now this is all kind of getting too warm, and as I go back, I'm going to start getting cooler. So let's put some cool colors in there. Let's throw some cool colors into some of these objects. And especially orange into the flesh tones. And you just put them everywhere, and see how I'm floating my pigment. I'm just going through here and just getting, here's a little guy standing there, I think. Some more shadowing. Now the shadows back here, I'm going to try to keep them a little bit cooler so they lay back there. I want them to start going back. The warm ones up here are fine. This looks kind of, what's going here? Maybe there's a knee coming up or something. I don't know. Oh, there's going to be a shadow here, right? There's going to be a shadow going off here from these people. Because I made the shadows a little bit longer. And underneath the beach umbrella, yes, but probably a little bit darker, but see how it'll glow? It looks like it's glowing through there. So now let's go in the back. And I'm going to use my smaller brush. I'm going to go those little smaller areas. I'm going to go with a little bit darker blue. And I can even put green in here because that's what's up there anyways. And so I'm just going to go around the umbrellas, and then I'm going to like start shaking my hand because I don't know what's back there. So I just want it to look like a bunch of, you know, lines going back and forth and stuff. There's a bunch of stuff back here. I know you thought probably, man, I can't draw this. I can't draw those people back there. Well, can't either. I don't want to draw all those people back there. I just want to put stuff back there. Little lines, little dashes, little dots. Go around some of the stuff. And that's called simplifying, and that's why you're an impressionist. It's an impression of what's there. It's not the actual thing. You don't know exactly back there, so it's all impressionistic. We're impressionists, most of us that I'm teaching. You know, we do impressions of things on the beach. Yes, we know what they are. They can be all little dots, and you know they're going to be people. You know they're umbrellas. And so see how they're not as dark as the photograph, But I don't need them to get them that dark. I just need them to be darker than the lights in my wash, and that will give the glow, the look. Soroya, if you look at his stuff, he hardly has any really dark colors in there. They're very light, but his ability to keep the lights in the light and the shininess of the light, and a little bit of the middle tone and darks are separate. You separate those two, and it will work. It will work. Soroya, look him up. He's, gosh, unbelievable paintings. That, you know, I haven't seen many original Soroyas. I think I have to go to... Didn't it come from Spain? I would love to see some original Soroyas. So there's my middle tone, my large middle tones, and a bunch of junk in here. Like if you drew it out and you could draw it all out and you wanted to make it really tight so you can see everything, that's fine. That's the way of doing things too. You can do that. I'm not suggesting that you can't do that or it's bad. No, it's just a different way of painting. I'm going to put a little bit of this green here. I just noticed now that also there's a little bit of green. Nice dark green. Get some purple in there. Down here. And then I can throw some shadows on down there too, because I got to throw some shadows here, right? Make them orange, make them orange. They just have to be darker orange than what you have up there. I could put footprints all around here too. Just take that same orangey flesh tone in the sand and just put a bunch of little foot marks and footprints in the sand. Go walking up this way, you know, there's a million people on this beach. You're going to definitely get them to put some foot marks in there, footprints in the sand. A little bit more orange in here. I like the orange look. All right, now let's go and do our, well, let's just first do our color of umbrellas. The ones in the back, I'm going to keep a little bit bluer. Again, I want to keep them back no matter what color they are. I'm just going to make them, and some have stripes, some are just stripes across. Then we'll maybe do a purple one. Try to keep them light. Try to keep them light. Here I'll do some pink ones, which would be like red. Red is dark, but it's bright, so it's the same thing. Either bright or light, one or the other. And use beach colors. There's a lot of, you know, turquoise is a beach color. You know, colors that you see a lot on the beach, like the bright orange, the fluorescence, and you know, like we don't have a fluorescent paint, but we can make it really bright orange. You know, make a really bright orange tint. Oh, this is underneath again. Now I'm gonna, since I have this in my brush, I'm gonna put some orange. Some orange stripes on this umbrella. Look at it goes from a circle like up here, and it just keeps on going like this. As I'm hoping tonight, boy, it would be really neat to get a golden ticket because they're going to announce the winners, if there are any winners or for the paintings, and I would love to get a golden ticket. But you have to do a plein air, and it's got to win first place, and so it's pretty hard to do. I'm not expecting to do that, but it sure would be nice because then you get a golden ticket to go to Laguna Beach, California, and do their plein air event. It's kind of why I'm entering a lot of them in that show, because I would really love to get invited to go do that. So let's make this one like a really dark orange, a bright orange, brilliant orange tint up here. So we'll put the stripes this way. See little stripes there. Time for another drink. Look how red that is. And some of these I'm going to keep white because, like this one, I don't think I'm going to put, if I put anything on there, it's going to have to be that light because the sun is shining right on there. Look at it. It's like, it's so bright. When you're at the beach, sometimes it's so bright you can't see anything. So it'd be pretty much your eyes. You cannot look into that umbrella and you can't see color. You can't see anything except white. So that's the way of making it look like it glows with the, thanks, Sylvia. I would love to get the golden ticket. Love to get the golden ticket. It's like Willy Wonka. I love that. I love Willy Wonka. Let's make this one red. Let's make this stripes this way. So if you want to watch, you can watch it too. It's at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I think it's at 9, 7, 8, yeah, 9 o'clock there in California, which would be, 7 o'clock there, which is 9 o'clock here. They're going to announce the winners on Facebook. You can watch them do the announcements. Because, of course, we can't, I can't fly there just to see the awards, but they post them on Facebook live, the awards. And we need this one blue, just, or maybe a little bit purple, and try to make them rounded, or, yeah, I like these ones that go around like this. Put this stripes there. But it kind of gets rid of the whites. See, I like the whites. I'm going to take a little bit of the top part off so that it looks like it's so bright. And I can also use white paint on that later just to make it bright again. Because really, and I'm waiting for it to dry so I can get my darks in there, because that's the only thing left is my really darks. The ones that are going to really make things look like they stand out. Because like these guys here, I want them to stand out more than the other guys. But did you see how I did all this stuff back here? You know, I didn't paint little people in there and little chairs. I basically shook. I shook my hand like this, and I'll put a couple little darks in here now. You know, I just figure chairs like this with an arm, a little thing like that, a head. It's all in shadow, so I'm just going to do little dabs. You don't need to make it look like whatever it is. We know what it is. We know. We don't have to spell it out for everybody. Maybe a little bit of color in there too. So as we come forward, you get a little bit darker and darker. You know, like I said, if you want to do some really drawing, do it up here on these guys. But back there, don't worry about them back there. Just, you know, get the little poles that they're on the ground. Put a little bit. Some of them can be really dark parts back here. Like you can do little hints of really dark. I would say purple and yellow, make a nice glow. Almost black. You can get some of these things almost black just because they are that dark. And like maybe the shadow underneath a spot, underneath the leg, or I don't know. Again, I don't know what's back here. I'm just gonna, well, you know, there's probably a cooler, a really bright red cooler, right? And so you're gonna just put a big swatch of red right there. You know that, you know, it's on a beach, you know, the really bright coolers or bright red coolers by Coleman, you know, they're going to have one of those in there. A Yeti, you know, really dull Yeti. So that what we'll do is we'll do like we'll just do a really bright purple. Here, the chair, look at how purple that is. But see how I'm getting a little bit tighter as I come forward? Not tighter, but just more contrast. These guys are going to have a real lot of contrast. And I'm just going to make a little bit more detail in here too. Like, look at this pole. It's going to be really dark. Maybe I'll do a little bit darker right here, right in the edge. And I can even get the little lines in there. The bamboo lines. Not the bamboo lines. The little lines that are holding up the umbrella. And then the pole nice and dark. Make it look like it's there. Oops, shoot. Oh well. There's something hanging there maybe. Okay. There's something leaning against it. They propped it up with something. And these little things in here can be a little bit, I mean, it's a detail part. That's okay. You can get some parts detailed. This guy got sunburn. He's too sunburned, or maybe it's a lady. Let's see. Let's make it a lady and long red hair here. Look at this nice red hair coming down. But she's still sunburnt. Alright, what's she doing? I wish I could see a little bit there, but that's okay. We're just going to make it up. Let's make it a little bit dark. See, this is the part you would kind of look at and see if you can make it a little bit more tight. But, you know, If you don't, that's fine too. You just make it look kind of like a person sitting there. And anything that's pointing this way would be darker, right? Because it would be darker. And then the legs and of the chair itself, you know, little dots, and maybe there's a little bit darker shadow underneath here because it's closer to the ground. And then we get a little bit darker. And then especially this chair too. This is like the second most important chair right here. And this runs off the page, which I didn't run it off the page because my paper is a little bit wider. And I did, when I started this, I traced a little bit of, just so I could place everything, and then I just took it away and I just started making stuff up. I was in a rush when I got back to get this thing done and get going. It's been a busy week. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this a chair. And then let's put another something over here. Some orange over here. I'm not sure what there we put a guy's head. And I like this really dark purple here. This is going to be nice to put down there for chairs. There's the side of the chair. All right, any questions, guys? Let me know. Questions. I love answering them. You can definitely do this. Don't feel that you can't do this one. I think a lot of people are looking at it and they're telling me, oh my God, there's so much to draw. You know, trace it. Get yourself a tracing thing of it and just trace it out. And like I did, I don't have to trace everything. Just trace the like outer lines of things. You just need it to get enough so that you can kind of see what things are. You know, where they're placed. But this in here, look at that, that's just all random stuff I put in there, and random. I can't even see where there's people, and it's just so dark right here. And I can do this. Oh, look at that, I put little legs on the chairs. Think of the chair, like, can you do the chair? And if you can do the chair, then you just put the person into it. And then this can be a little bit darker now too. This can be, again, a little bit more orange in here because this is more sand, and so I want to get a little bit more warm. Like the sand color. And we can also put the footprints in the sand marks too. Here we'll kind of do little grasses. There's some grasses down there. It's really ugly right there. So let's make this part a little bit darker because this, I like the really dark parts in here, so we're gonna have to make that part really dark. Make this really dark. Negative paint a little bit. It can be a really dark blue. Look at that, with a little bit of quinacridone, make it kind of greenish and really dark. And like she's sitting more in, and there's some parts of grasses here. Negative paint some of the grasses. And bring this way a little bit. Then we can switch over to more of a warm sand color. Maybe a little bit of warmth, red, orange. Red and orange maybe here, really dark. And then let's float some color. Now it's getting a little bit too thick, so I'm going to put some water here, let it float. I don't want to lose that like transparency look and where it's floating. Because I don't want to turn it into like a gouache painting. I still want that nice feel of the transparent watercolor. I do like the darkness, but I want it to float. I want the pigment to float to give it more of a transparent look. That's the one thing about watercolor that is so wonderful, is to make it look like it's floating and have that transparency to it. You can still do that with darks. You know, you can get all that nice color in there. So you can put that purple in there. And look at how it's just floating now. Oh yeah, that's gonna look great. A little bit of purple through here. And then when it dries, I'll put a little bit of the footprints going through there. Use a rigger brush to get some more of these poles here. Anything that's like a pole or a line, you can put that in there. This green right here is too dull, so that has to be a nice bright yellow. I know it's in the corner, but it looks really dull, like a dull. I know there's a triangle here, and I may have to get rid of that a little bit too, because that's not a good thing to put in a corner. But oh, orange, like from that orange right there. A little bit orange in there, like it's reflecting onto the ground, which happens. It definitely happens a lot, where this would like reflect onto the ground over here. And also give me a great color to put down here. Anything else? I think that's almost. What time is it? I ain't even looking. 8:20. Wow. I think other than this being dry and putting a couple footprints in it, I think that's pretty much it, guys. You can actually put bright. Let's take some. I should take some gouache and put some gouache marks in there, or just take watercolor and make it a little bit thicker. And actually, you can do little hits of like colors that are really thick and usually like gouache look, or not. I can just use. I think I need some more red in here, like in some spots, like red and. Just hit a couple spots. I don't want to get it's wet, so I can put some spots. And also, how about some bright blue? We don't have any bright blue. Especially turquoise on a beach like this looks great. So maybe this chair, maybe her chair is nice bright blue. Or this one, yeah, this one. There we go, bright blue on that chair right there. Okay, I better stop, otherwise I'm going to ruin this thing. I think that's it, guys. Unless you guys see something, please let me know. Oh yeah, you're right. I was going to do that. I was going to make little waves in there. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sylvia. I was going to take a little bit darker blue in the water here to show you how to make little waves, because you're going to do little waves here. Because it would be like you get a little bit dark underneath there, underneath the wave, and the waves come in, so the light part of the wave is the top of the wave, but you can put other colors in there, the little darker ones, and just because it's moving, the water's moving back here, so we want, and that'll make it a little bit darker. So good suggestion. I just forgot about it. Thank you guys for helping. All right, now I think it's done. What do you guys think? It's okay? Is that umbrella? Is this umbrella kind of weird shaped right here? It's a little darker on this side. I'm going to cut it short here a little bit. Put a person there. I think that's it. And you know, like I said, this is still too wet to put little footprints in there. But when it dries, it's going to get dry a little bit lighter. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put little footprints in that shadow. And I think it'll be fine. And does this part need a little bit something? No, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to look at it again maybe tomorrow morning and see what it's like. And, oh, I was going to put this a little dark. Oh, one more thing. It is not 8:30 yet, so we still have time. This little hut here, I'm going to put a little bit of a dark inside there. There's a little sign right here I forgot. Sharks on the beach. There's an umbrella right there. This could be a little bit lighter. Okay, now it's done. Now it's done, and I would probably sign it right here if I were to sign it, but that's still too wet to do anything to, so I will go back in there when it's dry, and I will put footprints in there, and that's about it. So guys, thank you so much for waiting until 7:30 today, but I was on the road getting home from Reedsburg, Wisconsin, and if you're ever up in that area, stop at the Voyager Inn, and they have a big collection of Norman Rockwell posters and covers, and I mean they have them all. I've never seen so many, but no birds. Okay, no birds. Yeah, No seagulls pooping on anybody, so we're gonna keep that away from there. More, I like when I do the boats, I'll do the seagulls, but I think for this, I still needed a mat. I keep on forgetting to cut a mat because like there's no edges on it, you know, so I have to hold it up like this maybe to show you. It's nice to have a little mat on it or a frame on it right away. I wonder if I have a frame here that size. This is size. Nope, not exactly size, but close. There you go. There's the finished product. So if you're around tonight on the Zoom meeting, it's a Zoom meeting. No, it's a Facebook. On Facebook, you're gonna see them announce the things, but you can go on there on Facebook and see what the awards are for this Laguna show. And so on Sunday, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do one, but hopefully I'm going to get outside and do some plein air painting on Sunday and show you guys. And then next week, again, I'll be the first. If you live up near Green Bay, I do a demonstration on Monday night at their place. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, I do a workshop. And so I'll be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Thursday, I'll be back. And we'll see you then. All right? Or on Sunday. Or if you're in those areas. All right? See you later. I'll talk to you soon.